I am Jordan Johnson Hines, former actor. No, I'm joking. Actor, filmmaker, sports enthusiast. And I'm here with some good friends of mine, buddies, brothers, and sports um, uh, Vikings. We got some amazing stuff to talk about that's been going on with the trade deadline. We got Drew. Ryan, you guys weren't here on the last episode. You guys were busy working, grinding, doing what you got to do. We want to get right into it and get your takes on the trade deadline.
Fair enough.
And also get a quick update on the NHL and the overview of what's going on in that side of the world of sports.
Would you start us off, Drew?
Well, Andrew Hinkson here. I tell you what, I'm still getting over a little bit of the disappointment of Kyrie ending up in Dallas. I still have a few questions about that. He's acting as though this is almost something that he wanted. But I still get the feelings of when Popovich banished Kawhi to the Great White North up here, which I guess
got a championship.
Worked out real well. Yeah. They got a ring out of it. So
right.
Maybe it's a good omen. But, that surprised me. I kind of had visions of him as a Laker wearing the old purple and gold.
I think
at the same time, he is 31 years old, so he's got some mileage on him. The next thing that shocked me was waking up to find out that Kevin Durant was now a Phoenix Sun. Did that surprise any of you guys at all?
Absolutely. Ryan, what? It surprised you?
Complete bomb throwing into the trade deadline. I thought the Lakers were going to come out on top as the best team, making the most moves. And
they got some moves in though. They got better.
They look good. Blinken did a good job with that lineup, moving some good assets, getting some picks. I think now CP3 and the Suns have no excuse not to win the West. That team is too deep, it's too good. This is it. Yeah, and they did. That's why they did it. They made the move because CP3, it's going to take a load off of him. I'm really excited to see the West play out now. They tried to steal the Super Bowl week from us. The NBA did. They really did, and they did a good job of it.
Hey, because you said, Drew, that Kyrie was like saying that he was like expecting this thing to happen in his favor to go to Dallas. Last episode or 2 episodes ago, Ryan talked about it being a state where he didn't have to get vaccinated. So I think I'm also seeing that when I'm looking at Kyrie in the video when he first arrived to Dallas and his first interview and then his first game. I mean, he just looks so free and happy. You could see there's joy in his eyes again. You know what I mean? What's your take, Avery? Did you see that? I don't know what you're talking about. What are you talking about?
I think Kyrie looked good in his first game. I think it'll be cool to see what he looks beside Luka. I think him playing by himself without Luka was a big deal. But they moved. If you actually watch that game, like he was playing off the ball basically the entire game. He wasn't really bringing the ball up.
He moves well off the ball. He moves very well.
They're clearly trying to get him used to already getting involved with Luka and everything. I think the KD trade is bigger news, though. I think it stole the show. Like, if you listen to their interviews, I think Luka's like, we're the top team in the West now, and this is before the KD trade dropped. And I can assure you that after the KD trade dropped, he was probably like,
is anyone a Devin Booker fan here? Like, is Devin Booker? I feel like he's a superstar.
He dropped 70.
I think he's one of those players that are on the cusp of superstardom. I definitely respect his game. He's one of Kobe Bryant's favorite players, so that says a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Kobe always vouched for Booker's game. He has a lot of fire in his game, and I do respect the fact that he's extended his range a bit. He used to struggle heavily from behind the arc, and now he can hit threes at a better clip. This move is going to definitely vault Phoenix into the number one contender position in the West. I think I'd still put Boston and Milwaukee ahead of them as far as who I'd put my money on to win it all. But Phoenix getting to the finals wouldn't really surprise me if they all stay healthy. That's the big question mark there, right?
That's the big question with
CP3,
everybody.
Yeah. Especially them.
Well, last episode we talked about top 5 point guards of all time.
Currently? Of all time, okay.
Yeah, of all time. Chris Paul, Kevin Durant, Ryan, are you excited about that? Are you spectacle? What? Yo, dude, what you smoking? Are you skeptical about that? Do you think that this is just I feel like a lot of these trades are like apps now. It's like an app. They're just seeing the name on and it's like this worked. You know, they're just seeing the name and it's like, oh, this works. Let's put let's Photoshop the avatar of the guys together. And it's like, Kevin Durant's injured right now, So what's your take on that?
Yeah, that's a really good point. It's hard to throw it all together that first year that a trade or a team really comes together. I can't think of the first team that's kind of been thrown together like that and they actually won the championship. Took
right.
Yeah, it took Cavs a couple years. I mean, even Kawhi.
Boston.
Yeah, Boston. I think Kawhi might be the only example of him being there for 1 year.
No, Boston's the same one. They got 1 year together with Ray and fucking KG. They won their first year.
Take it back to about what was that? 2008, 2007.
Yeah. Oh wait, they won their first year.
Yeah.
The closest example or the most recent example is definitely Kawhi.
Yeah. And I just Booker and KD together are too prolific of scorers. I think CP3, if he doesn't get it done this year, it's on him. And that's going to be hard to put him up there with the elite point guards if he doesn't get one.
So Brandon Jennings was, what were you saying, Jamal? Go ahead.
Oh, no, I thought you were going to go into the top 5 point guards again.
That's what I was going into.
Yeah.
So can we get a graphic for this, please? Top 5 point guards. So Avery has this cool story about Brandon Jennings. Brandon Jennings used to be one of the best point guards in the NBA. I don't know if you guys remember that game where he was chirping at KD or not. No, was it Kevin? Yeah, Kevin Garnett after he lit him up. I think they were in Boston or something or one of those. I think it's when he played for Milwaukee.
Yeah.
This is kind of like a side question because going into that top 5, what do you rate? How do you rate a player, and are you rating them from a certain time span, like their prime, or career? So is like Brandon Jennings was a leaguer, but he only lasted a certain window, and then it was you got someone like Gilbert Arenas where he was agent zero, and then you never saw him in the NBA again, and you're like, he's a podcast guy now, respectfully. But what are we gauging it off of? You
gotta look at a person's entire carear. Example,
Yeah.
Kwame Brown. That's my example right there. All time and time.
Cut it out.
We should start beef with Kwame Brown.
I ain't fucking with Kwame Brown. Yo, did you? He was on the Pivot. Shout outs to the Pivot. Great podcast. And he was on there, man, and he talked about it. He talked about the label that the media caused his career and business opportunities because they called him Bust Life, And
don't be a bust.
He had a great career, though. He had 12 years in the league, man. That's like it wasn't.
Yeah, but again, it's comparable to being a first-round overall pick. That's what the whole beef was Stephen A. was saying. It's not like you're a bust comparable to backup centers in the NBA. You're a bust comparable to other number 1 picks.
Yeah.
Like the only you would put him like the top 5 worst overall picks just in my head. Like I don't know. Kwame's up there. Fucking Anthony Bennett's up there. Markelle Fultz has to be in there right now. Like
He's still playing well for the Orlando Magic.
I know, but unless he changes his career around, then you got to put him in that list. Like, he came in the league with the projection of being the number 1 pick. Yeah. So if you look at Kwame's
draft, Greg Oden too. I had big hope for Greg Oden, and his knees fell apart quicker than the foundation on a badly built house.
Yeah, no, Greg Oden's a good example too, but at least he had like 1 or 2 actual, like, almost all-star.
That was so sad what happened with, Greg Oden.
His knees gave out. But yeah,
that was so sad.
I think Kwame is definitely he shouldn't be bitching.
Okay, so what I want to do, Avery, I want you to tell that story about Brandon Jennings real quick because it's funny as hell. And then I want to segue into top 5 point guards. So everyone get prepared for that. We got the graphic for the top 5 point guards, but we're going to do a little story time. All right, Avery, go ahead.
Okay, I got you. Okay, so fucking Brandon Jennings, he's coming off his Milwaukee years. He's going to I think he's on Washington during this time. He got so he's basically going through like his injury years. He's not starting anymore. And Washington, I want to say, is playing. Fuck, I can't even remember the game. I want to say they're playing Philly, and comes to like a game-winning point. Brandon Jennings on the bench. They're down by 2 points. John Wall comes up, pulls up with 3, cashes it. It's game. It's like focused in on the bench because they're on that side. You could see the whole bench go nuts, and exactly like the Anthony Davis shit. And he doesn't move. Brandon Jennings just sits there like mean mugging, not fucking ecstatic at all. And my first thought was, I even like rewinded it to see if I was tripping or not. And like, no, he's just mean mugging, not giving any love at all. My first thought was he's mad because he's not the one taking the shot. And that's slightly fair, but he should have probably like faked a little bit of emotion.
So what you're saying is Brandon Jennings was like Anthony Davis on the bench. Right, yeah. So
when LeBron breaks the record.
Right. So Brandon Jennings didn't celebrate to your liking. Okay, go ahead.
Exactly. So directly after, I was dating a girl at the time, and she had convinced me into making a Twitter and just talking shit about basketball shit because she's.
You want to give her a shout out?
Definitely not giving her a shout out. She's next, okay? So, anyways, fucking, I had this Twitter account at the time. Fucking, I got the Basketball Oracle, and I tweeted at my whole point was I just wanted to get some love by somebody involved with the NBA. I had yet to do that at the time.
The Basketball Oracle. Shout out to the Basketball Oracle.
So I tweet at Jennings being like, yo, man, I seen that fucking you giving no love to John Wall. I was like, it's because you be hating and you're not the one taking the shot. And like just basically chirped and shit. Fucking don't really think anything of it. Hour goes by. I look at my phone. This is like an hour after the game too. Fucking Brandon Jennings tweeted at me. He was like, yeah, man, it's not like that. Fucking it wasn't like that. I was in my own head. And like when he tweeted at me, I basically just like cowered and it wasn't gonna keep going with the shit. So
you weren't expecting him to respond back.
I didn't really think anyone would say anything. So fucking I just basically tweeted back, be like, nah, man, it's all love. I get it.
So you were bitch made. Can we get a toilet flush? She was bitch made for the. Can we get a toilet flush? Hey, I love you, Avery. You know what I mean? You are my guy.
It was 100% bitch made at that point. Yeah, he tweeted back. Fucking, we basically, like, I said, it's cool. And then I show all my buddies that were there. I had probably 10 people at my place at that night. And fucking the next day, I go to show somebody that came over to my place. I go looking through Twitter. And I'm like, man, I can't fucking find it. I don't know what's going on. They're like, man, you didn't save the tweet.
Favorite the tweet, screenshot the tweet.
Why would I screenshot the tweet? I was like, I assume when you put something on the internet, it's just fucking there. Why would I save it?
It never happened.
They could delete the tweet.
And
I was like,
deleted.
That's weak. So yeah, I was hoping like I used to watch.
I'm sorry, man.
All the time. Shout out to the Starters. That show's sick. Fucking Skeets and all those guys. But yeah, fucking they used to talk about these like random events of like tweets and everything. So I assumed that they would talk about it on the Starters, but He deleted the tweet, and I never got to see it.
That was
man.
it.
I was
Well,
pissed.
I'm
and
sorry,
that was the
man.
only time I ever got anyone in the NBA to ever
It's
give
all
me a
good,
shout out.
man.
And he deleted that shit.
Well,
Fucking weak. So choked.
You should have chirped him back. I think he deletes the ones where he doesn't get the engagement. I feel
I
like
know.
those guys want like the KD back and forth. Like
I
you
know.
if you're gonna say something, then bring it.
I know. KD never deletes his shit. He just keeps it. I was pissed.
Forever and holds a grudge.
Yeah.
I was choked. I was choked.
The one with him chirping Stan Van Gundy? He's like Stan spitting and he like Stan Van Gundy keeps going on his tangent and he's like, relax, dude, I agree with you. And somebody quotes the tweet and it goes, Stan, spitting means he's like saying you're saying what you're saying makes sense. And Stan replies and goes, had no idea. Just typical old boomer on Twitter.
I actually like the Van
Trying to
Gundys.
flowers.
The Van Gundys are funny. Like Jeff Van Gundy is probably like one of my favorite guys to listen to doing announcements and shit. I think we lost Jordan. I just started texting him. But yeah, no, Jeff Van Gundy's sick. I think Jeff Van Gundy, and I used to love listening to Steve Kerr, but then fucking Steve Kerr started coaching Golden State. He's been gone for how long now? But yeah, Steve Kerr was actually super funny. Grant Hill's good at it. There's a few of the guys that fucking have funny shit to say all the time. Jeff Van Gundy, actually, his best take. There's a play that they stop the ball to like go through and look at the replay, and Jeff Van Gundy's like talking shit as they're looking at the replay and they're going through the tape. And he's like, honestly, he's like, I hate that they do this and they waste so much time. He's like, people come here to pay to watch these games, then they just waste everyone's time. He's like, you know what they should do during this? He's like, they should have the best player on both teams play a one-on-one during this, and the points that they get actually equate to the score in the game. It's like the best take I've ever heard. Jeff Van Gundy's lit, man. Honestly, always keeps it real. He's fucking sick.
I always wonder why they never had a one-on-one competition in the All-Star game.
They should be sick. And I think it's honestly because like if you're KD, you can't lose to a one-on-one to LeBron James in an All-Star event. That's
well, I mean, they could have made it fun in a way, like for charities, and just.
I know, but I
the
think these guys have too much ego
and
like,
the franchise.
Big time bragging rights.
Yeah,
especially if it's on film too, right?
Exactly. Like if it happened when you guys were just like in fucking practice or whatever, it's just you could just talk shit about it. No one actually really knows the story. But if it's an all-star weekend and LeBron James dunks on fucking KD and LeBron's nuts is in his chest, then I think there's bragging rights to the rest of life.
That's next stage. That's all-star skit. That's all-star level right there. People are tuning in.
I think we're at that point now.
Yeah, no, 100%. It would be sick, but I don't think it's ever going to happen.
What about Pascal being named an all-star, the Toronto boy?
Yeah, I seen that the all the reserves got fucking. So I think it was
he deserved it.
Yeah, I think he deserved it. I think the people were kind of saying that Aaron Gordon should have got brought up, but I don't know. I don't know if Aaron Gordon's better than Pascal Siakam.
Pascal's leading the league in minutes right now.
Yeah.
Pascal's definitely having, from what I can see, his best season.
Well, Pascal's no scrub.
Consistence wise, he's definitely bringing it every night, pretty much.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, he's making them tick. I mean, they've been kind of inconsistent, but he's been that one consistency throughout the season. And I think it just says you want the best players on the court. He's leading the league in minutes. He's got to be out there for the All-Star game. So
yeah,
really happy to see him out there.
No, I agree. Fucking, what's your guys' takes on the top 5 point guards though? All time.
Well,
first.
If we want to go all time, the guy I always seem to. I don't know if I should start at 5 or start at 1. I think if we start at number 1, it kind of
start at 5.
Takes away from the mystery a little bit. So I'm going to start at number 5. I'm going to start at the bottom of my list and work my way up. So at number 5, I'm going to go like off the board a little bit, and I'm going to go with Rod Strickland.
Rod Strickland, top 5 all-time point guard.
Okay.
Rod Strickland.
That's a hot take.
I know. Just skill wise, and he definitely had a game that I feel was ahead of its time.
No, Rod Strickland was a beast.
Yeah, absolutely. He gets forgotten a lot because he was in a tough era. After that at number 4, I'm gonna go with the logo. The current logo right now, and Los Angeles Lakers Hall of Famer Jerry West. His numbers speak for themselves. Again, he was in one of the toughest eras and still managed to get championship. Jerry West is my number 4 all time. At number 3, I'm gonna go with the Big O.
Big O.
Yep. Oscar Robertson. Averaged a triple-double, as we all know. At number 2, all time, it's tough, but because this guy has no rings. But I just feel like I've seen his whole career, and as far as pure point guards go, as far as what I'd want from a point guard, especially in his prime, I can't think of anyone that exemplifies the position and played it better than Chris Paul. So I have Chris Paul as my number 2 all time. And my number 1 is obvious. I'm a Laker fan, as you guys know, and I think Magic Johnson's the best to ever do it at that position.
Magic at the 1. I don't know. I will say, I don't know how you keep Curry out, but I love CP3. Rod Strickland might have been one of the dirtiest crossovers of all time, but
yeah.
I don't know if I can keep Curry out.
I hear that.
Ryan, who's your 5?
I mean, I have a few similar ones in there, and I'm just gonna agree with you right away. I'm not gonna do the suspenseful thing. I'm with you. Magic, I have number 1. I mean, you talk about him just changing the game, really paving the way for so many future players. Kind of the big man handling the ball, Showtime Lakers. He's number 1. So number 2, I have Steph Curry at number 2. I mean, he's the only unanimous MVP in NBA history. Hate him or not, he's up there. He's exciting. Kids want to be him. Number 3, man, I don't even think CP3 makes my list. I'm going with Stockton at number 3, 4 Jerry West, and then number 5. Yeah, number 5. I'm gonna go AI. I'm going AI.
That's funny. I talk about this all the time with Jerry West and AI. That it's some people put him as a 2 and some people put him as a 1. And if you look at their careers, they basically played shooting guard and point guard 50-50 their entire career anyways. So it's not really fair to not put him in the conversation for either if you wanted to.
He's a sport. All right.
My apologies. The Wi-Fi, man.
Hey,
you're back. We need your top 5 point guards.
So what?
Paul Pierce just now, and just have to take the wheelchair to the back or
something. Very funny. Direct from the shade room. So what? Okay. So what's the? I feel like the energy, man. Wow, it feels really cool. It feels like Vegas, baby. So what have people been saying? What's the top 5? Avery, what were your top 5? Ryan, what's your top 5? Drew, what's your top 5?
I say you're not allowed to know. You, Jordan, just give your top 5.
Top 5 point guards of all time.
All time.
Wow. Okay.
Then you have nothing to go off.
So I'm gonna put.
It's gonna go. Everybody so far has a Laker in their top 5.
Okay. So
now you're bribing. You can't do that.
So Magic is obviously number 1. Obviously, I'm gonna put Steph Curry number 2. I'm gonna put John Stockton number 3. I was really in the podcast. 4. I said Stockton. 4. Wow. Chris Paul is. I'm gonna say Chris Paul, Steve Nash.
Chris Paul, Steve Nash.
Forgot about Nash. Canadian.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that no one had Nash in their top 5. I'm the only guy that didn't have Steph Curry in their top 5.
Okay, so everybody had Steph Curry.
Me and Jamal haven't went.
Jamal, are you serious?
Yeah, Jamal,
okay. Rock, paper, scissors. All right, top 5. At number 5, I am definitely going to have to put in Alvin Williams from the Toronto Raptors.
What?
Oh my God.
Wait a minute. I thought
he even a top 5 Raptor point guard?
This isn't your top 5 favorite players, okay? But I let the Rod Strickland one go. I'm not letting Alvin Williams go. Fuck out of here.
No,
Give me a different 5. This is ridiculous.
That's funny. That's
all right.
hilarious.
Baron Davis, number 4.
I have a hard time keeping Jose Calderon out of my top 5.
Shit.
All right, I got Baron Davis at number 5. I don't know. I've always been a Stockton fan at number 4.
Okay.
That's respectable.
Number 3. I'm gonna have to think about this now.
Is Iverson I'm not trying to cut you out. Is Iverson considered a point guard or he's a shooting
We
guard?
were just saying that throughout his entire career, he basically played both.
Okay,
So,
I'll shut up. Go ahead.
It's fair to either say he's a 1 or a 2.
Okay.
Give me a sec here. This is tough, man. This is tough.
So right
I
now,
like how go ahead, yeah.
right now, guys that we have on the list, there's been Strickland, Curry, Iverson,
Rod Strickland. Wow.
Oscar Robinson,
Oscar Robinson.
There we go.
Don't
Yeah.
forget
Steph
Big O.
Curry.
He was on the New York point
Um,
guards. New York point guards.
Steve Nash got thrown out.
Yeah.
Ryan,
Ryan, what was your top 5?
Yeah.
Our top 3 was
Oh, and Stockton.
spot on. Like I had Magic, Steph, and then
Stockton.
Stockton at 3.
Yeah, you guys had the same top 3.
Okay, and then who was 4, 5?
I had AI at 5. 4 was Jerry West.
Oh, you went back.
All right.
I like Big O though. I mean, I'm not.
What am I at?
Big
Number
O.
2?
Yo, give me 2 secs. I got a call.
Number 2,
Okay,
I'm gonna put Gilbert Arenas. I always like Gilbert Arenas.
Short
And then number
career,
1.
but a good one.
Yeah.
Number
I
1.
can't believe this guy brought a gun to the locker room, though. I mean,
Yo, speaking
Right.
of that, did you see what Gilbert Arenas said to Kwame Brown? So so he said on the Kwame Brown was on the pivot, and I guess Kwame Brown and Gilbert Arenas, I didn't see the whole thing, but they apparently were talking, like they were going at it, like on YouTube, like live, and they were talking shit, going back. And I guess Kwame said something to him, and it was getting heated, and then like Gilbert Arenas was like, "I'll put a gun to your throat," you know, and you know, yeah. So it was. So this, I mean, dudes put, you know, yeah, he brought guns into the locker room. So you know,
That's
it is
my
what
bad.
it
it's
is.
funny because you always see him with that kind of like that sly smile on his face, and he comes
Yeah.
off like someone that is a bit of a joker, but his name keeps coming up in these situations where he punks people off.
Yeah,
That's
And
fair.
I think we'd be remiss not to say that the other dude that brought the guns was Javaris Crittenton, and he's serving like a 20-year jail sentence right now for killing another man. So think Gilbert avoided something there.
Yeah.
are you serious?
Yeah. No, the Gil story's fucked.
That really happened? He's serving a 20.
Yeah,
Would you have
oh,
2
he's
and
in
1?
there. Yeah, he's been in there for like 5 years now, man. It's been a minute.
Whoa,
Right.
that's crazy.
So,
So
yeah,
number
all
one
right,
might
Jamal,
be-
you're about to tell your best point guard.
yeah, that went left real quick. So yeah,
And number 1, Mike Bibby.
Mike. Okay, say this again. I feel like you just like
Okay, give your list again,
quantum leap
Jamal.
to the number 1. Like
Okay, so number 5 was Baron Davis.
Baron Davis, and then
Okay.
Stockton 4. 3 was Arenas. Bibby
Did you
was
say
1. you
Mike
said.
Bibby and Alvin Williams?
Oh no,
There
Alvin
you-
Williams.
Oh, there we go.
Alvin-
So that
You're gonna count Alvin Williams? All right.
Who's your number 2?
Number 2.
Alvin Williams. No, that's his top 5 all
That's
time.
your top 5
Alvin Williams
of all time.
I
Alvin
can't
Williams
even.
is his number 1 and 2? Is that what's happening? Is Alvin Williams now the Dylon of point guards? Is that
No one
what's
can remember my
happening?
number 2.
Oh man.
This is great. I love it. This is great. Okay.
I
This
got
is great.
Dylon at number 1, 2, and 3.
Dylon,
Then I got
Dylon,
Magic.
Dylon, and Dylon.
Okay, so we talked about the trade deadline. Did we get your takes? Did we talk about the John Wall? Did we get your takes on the John Wall, Eric Gordon buyout, Danny Green buyout? What are your thoughts
I
on
think
that,
John
Ryan and
Wall's
Drew?
career has basically hit a wall.
Why do
in
you
my
think
opinion. John Wall is facing a buyout because it doesn't look like he can find a home anywhere at this point.
so? And he's
John
back
Wall?
in Houston. He's back in Houston.
He's gonna be. I mean, he's made so much money. He signed that fat max contract, and what he played.
He
like,
started off the season so well. I mean,
80 at 200 games. Like, I think he's too injured to come back, or like any NBA team is going to take a gamble on him. Kind of feels sad because he was prolific. Like I remember doing that John Wall dance. Tell me you guys know this one right here.
Oh, hey, get him, get him, get him.
I'm calling white. I have no rhythm, so don't take me at that.
I think you have rhythm. Hold on. So hey, Jamal, can we put on a song? Let's teach Ryan really quickly how to do this with some rhythm. Can we get this going?
Some rhythm.
What are we gonna, Drew? What are we gonna call this segment? We're gonna give him, because Drew and I, we were on Letterkenny, so he's very quick. He's very witty. What are we gonna call this segment of teaching Ryan the rhythm to do the dance that he was just showing us right there?
I mean, what popped in my mind right away would have been something like flirting with disaster.
Okay, there we go. Okay, so we're gonna call this segment "Flirting with Disaster," and we're gonna get this. We're gonna get the song going, and then Ryan, we're gonna have you do it again. Avery, you're gonna teach him how to do it on beat. Go ahead.
I don't think I know how to do the
you have to do it. You lost.
I don't even know what was this. The John Wall. That's
there we go. There we go.
Yeah.
Hey, there we go.
That's the whole John Wall.
There we go. All right, there we go. So there we go. So Ryan, we're gonna do this one more time. I know it's crazy. We're gonna do it one more time. We're gonna get the music going, and I'm gonna do it with you. All right, here we go. All right. Okay, here we go. So the music is playing. Hey. Yeah, there we go. I think we deserve a flush for that. We deserve a flush. Any thoughts on the NHL? We want to get like a quick NHL update. Drew, what's going on in the cold world? Shout out to J. Cole.
First of all, I have to admit it's been a bit of a mild winter in Toronto, other than a couple storms that blew in a few weeks back. But at this point in the season, I guess what would be the most interesting race would be the race for the wild card spot between two teams like Florida Panthers and maybe you got the Kraken in the West. That's an expansion team. If you guys aren't familiar, Seattle has a team now, and they're doing pretty well in their second year in the league. The Atlantic Division is probably one of the toughest in the league right now. That's the division that has the Maple Leafs currently second place to Boston Bruins, who have been on a roll since the season started. They've just been on fire. And Tampa Bay Lightning in third. Those three teams right there make up right now the top six, three of the top six teams in the league. And they're all in one division, if you can imagine that. In the Eastern Conference as well, you got teams like Carolina that are doing pretty well right now. You always got to be aware of teams like Pittsburgh. You got to be aware of teams like maybe Washington with Ovechkin. The trade deadline's coming up also, and two guys that names keep popping up in the rumor mill is Kane and Taves on the Chicago Blackhawks. That team is tanking right now, and those two veterans who have won multiple cups between them, it's going to be interesting to see which team takes a leap and picks up one of those two contracts. Well, yeah, the league's in a good shape right now. It's looking pretty interesting.
Wow.
Who do you got to win it?
If I was going to bet money right now, unfortunately, the team that is shown to be the most consistent start to finish would be the Boston Bruins. But in hockey, the team that wins the President's Trophy, which is the trophy awarded to the best regular season team, religiously, that team never wins the cup. It's always a team that kind of gets slept on a little bit. You know, hope rings eternal. Maybe the Leafs can pull it off this year and make a deep run, but I'm going to say whichever team comes out of the Atlantic Division between Boston, Toronto, and Tampa, one of those teams will more than likely play for the cup. And in the other side of the conference, the Dallas Stars have shown to be probably the most consistent team start to finish.
Toronto has a chance.
All right, so we're gonna say thank you, Drew, for the quick update for the NHL update. We're gonna get a quick fan question. We got our first fan question because Avery's got to get going. All right, so the fan question is, okay, I can't see the name. It's from Dipsy 124.
What's
They-
51?
I think so if I'm reading that correctly. And they said Dipsy 124 they asked what inspired you guys to do this podcast and what was the idea behind it. So what inspired us to do this to do to do
You want to take that one?
Yo, yo, Avery, what's your final thoughts? We'll get that. We'll get that.
Just give me one.
I got this question
gotta go so
from
deep, man.
McGee Dipsy 246. She's
Crying, man.
asking.
Oh,
I'm sorry. We had to do.
That was incredible.
Oh
You
my
coulda
God.
asked, what's your pick for the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I
had to go
Oh,
with
yeah.
All right, I'll ask this. Okay, we'll ask this. Okay, so best basketball or best sports movie. Okay, and you can't Warrior Strong is out. Avery, you can't pick Warrior Strong. Drew, you can't pick Letterkenny because you were on it.
just-
just
in the
number
bloopers.
one of all time.
Yeah, so yeah, your best sports movie, and this is our final thoughts, and then we'll get off. Okay, so Ryan, you start first, and then Avery, you go next. Favorite sports movie all time.
Favorite sports movie of all time.
Or just the best sports movie of all time. What are we doing? Our favorite or the best sports movie of all time?
You can do both. You could do a double. You could do a double hitter. You see what I
Well, I
did?
mean, I said Alvin Williams, and I mean, I got.
I think this is opinion based. I mean, I love some really dumb sports movies like Benchwarmers. I love
That's a good film. That's a good
I love the Flint Tropics. So Semi Pro is another fantastic one.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go with Semi Pro. That's one of my all time favorite sports movies.
Okay.
So many
Okay.
good quotes in it. Just something you can laugh at each time.
How
get
do
up
you?
there. And then the alley so applicable to any time you're playing with your buddies
Nice.
and they do something crazy or they travel and you want to argue about it.
I like that. That's a good choice. Okay, semi pro. Okay, Avery, what's yours?
Okay, me and my brother actually argue about this shit all the time. That realistically, my opinion would basically just be basketball. I couldn't care less about other sports movies, but it's not like I haven't watched them. But basketball is the only sport I really care about, realistically. But I think if you would break it down, Coach Carter is probably the best
Classic.
sport basketball movie of all time. But
Yeah.
I think like my favorite is probably White Man Can't Jump, and
Oh.
then Semi Pro is probably up there too. But
Good
White
sports
Man
movie.
Can't Jump, I think,
Okay.
is probably on most people's list.
Jamal, what's yours?
I was thinking, Remember the Titans or Coach Carter, and then I
Oh.
completely forgot about White Man Can't Jump.
Oh,
Amazing
wow. Remember the
movie.
Titans is a good that
Remember
they used
the
to
Titans is good.
That's always gonna be my top two. Remember
they
the Titans.
run that on TBS. Okay.
Denzel
so,
never disappoints.
So Ryan, yours was semi pro. And what's what's the other one? The tropic what was that one?
No,
The
that
Flint
the
Tropics.
Flint Tropics was the team.
Flint Tropics. Okay. And then Avery,
Right.
you had semi pro and what?
White Man Can't Jump.
White Man Can't Jump. Jamal, you had
Oh, sorry. Is NASCAR a sport?
Talladega Nights.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you can say it's
So you like
sport.
Talladega Nights?
No.
Okay.
It was Remember the Titans. I was thinking about Remember the Titans or Coach Carter, but then White Man Can't Jump. I forgot about them.
Okay. All right. Drew, what is your favorite sports movie all time?
Well, I feel privileged that you came to me so late on the list, and there are some movies that I can say. No, it's good because I have a few that are probably gonna just make you guys remember how great they were.
Wow.
First one, I'll do a scene from one of my favorites. It goes a little something like this: You're 5 foot nothing, you weigh 100 and nothing, and you're trying to play a game for the best university on the planet. Something along those lines. But that's a scene from Rudy. Charles Dutton.
Classic.
Rudy's on my
Classic.
list.
Wow.
I also have to give a shout out to a movie that
A League of Their
Remember
Own.
the
I'm
Titans
gonna
was
say
probably
that. I'm gonna say A League of Their Own before someone forgets this movie. A League of Their Own is a good
League of
fucking
Their Own.
sports movie. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna ask you guys between Denzel has two great sports movies. Which one do you think is the best between Remember the Titans and He Got Game?
Ooh.
I like He Got
that's
Game
why I
more,
picked-
but again,
that's why I
I'm
picked
biased.
That's shout outs to
I
Coney
love He
Island.
Got Game. He Got
Yeah.
Game is my number one.
Jesus Shuttersworth. Shuttersworth? Yeah. Yeah. That's good. So we have comedy.
Shout
We
out to
have
Spike Lee.
shout out to Spike Lee.
Yeah.
We got comedy, we got like real grimy, gritty, and then we got like lighthearted. Sandlot,
also
like
was great? Remember
Yeah.
Basketball Diaries with Leonardo DiCaprio?
That's a good one.
It
And Mark
wasn't really a sports movie at all, but Basketball Diaries. Okay, that scene where he's trying to get into his house and his mom won't let him in.
That's
It's
okay.
classic.
But that movie had Mark
You
Wahlberg, right? Mark
bitch.
Wahlberg was like
Open the
was like
door,
a
you
Yeah,
bitch.
absolutely. Yeah.
we have remember the movie with Mekhi Phifer? That's a good sports
Yeah.
movie
Oh,
where
shit,
he's
I
like a
forgot about
basketball
that.
player.
Yeah, I forgot about
And he right. But yeah, so I'd say the Sandlot was good. League of Their Own, Coach Carter. You guys took all of them. Remember the Titans? I was never like a Hoosiers guy. That never.
Rudy, I think he gets overplayed. Rudy shouldn't get so much goddamn love, man. He
What's
he
that
got
one with
one
Kevin
tackle.
Costner,
He
Field
got
of
one
Dreams?
fucking tackle.
I'm gonna say Warrior Strong with Andrew Dice Clay, Jordan Johnson Hines.
I
Yeah,
heard
no,
that's a
no, no.
classic.
I worked on that shit.
No, hey, okay, I think Remember the Titans is great, man. I think Remember the Titans was really, really good.
Solid.
Tropic Thunder's good. Joanna Man was funny. He Got Game.
Eddie.
Dodgeball.
Cool Runnings. That's my
What about
best
Cool
sports movie.
Runnings?
Best sports movie of all
That's a
time.
good
Cool
pick.
Runnings.
Cool Runnings is good.
I
That's a
see
good
pride.
Jamaican and
I see
I see
power.
power. I see a
badass
badass mother that don't take no pride from nobody. Yo,
One second.
I'm your boy Jordan Johnson Hines.
It's your boy Jamal.
Avery.
Ryan.
Andrew Hinkson signing out.
This has been the Below the Rim podcast, and until next time, what we gonna do, fellas?
Flush that shit.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow.
Follow that.